Be nice about the way people look. That's right, that's how I decided to start this video. Because you never really know what somebody is going through in their mind. Also, when you do break it down, like Degeneration X, any individual is allowed to choose to look however they want. It's called life. There have been some incredible transformations in wrestling though ever since 2020. So let's get out our support flag and wave it really hard. Number 10, JD McDonough. Or JD McDonut, it's your choice. But if you do go back to 2020, you will find him as Jordan Devlin. Dare I say it? Kind of just looks like your ordinary clean-cut babyface. Now everybody knew he could go too, especially when he was in NXT UK, but there was this idea that that was going to be his ceiling, and all of a sudden WWE did call him up and they're like, oh hi, why don't you come to NXT proper? Which he did. That was 2022, and 1 year later he was hanging around with the Judgment Day, and as the brand new JD McDonough, he had this slick back hair and kind of this shib-eating grin, and you looked at him like, yeah, I don't like you very much, and somebody should punch you in the face. He also sort of had this way about him where if you were down an alleyway, he would probably stab you, and this was going to work out very well for him, because after the Judgment Day had gone through a big old transformation, Finn Balor said it the best, they were street trash. That's kind of the vibe that JD gave off, intentionally. So he really has now found his place on Raw. He adds a lot to this group. He hit a home run. Number 9, Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross's first main roster call-up was awful. It wasn't his fault, but he lost to Jeff Hardy on day 1, and then for some reason, we dressed him up like a gimp soldier. Look at this. Look at the image on the screen right now. What is he wearing, and what is that helmet? Kross also had a shaven head at that point, and that's why I'm going to call him a Mother Hubbard, because these days he's come back and he's got long hair. I was like, you shouldn't do that to us, man. Some of us had to put up with it every single day. Thankfully, all the other garb was gone though too, and he kind of moved away from the spooky wookie and just became a conniving son of a gun. And ever since then, yeah, I think he's been way better. He also started the Final Testament faction, so again, look at it when he first got called up, and look at him now. You could probably go out there and convince someone these were brothers. This was really smart as well though, because it does allow you to forget about version 1, not Matt Hardy. Now let's never talk about that again. Stupid. Number 8, Seth Rollins. So we do go back 4 years to 2020. Seth Rollins was still dealing with the fallout of that Hell in a Cell match, to the point he had to go heel, even though in 2019 he'd been a pretty damn good babyface. As he was refining himself during this journey though, he went, you know what, why don't I just be a giant clown man? He adopted the laugh, and he started wearing this audacious clothing, and ever since then, well, he's another guy totally smashed it. I mean, he really must have taken a page out of Randy Savage's book, and maybe even someone like Liberace, but he found himself amongst this crazy sports entertainment world, to the point he took this character and he became a babyface again. I think that's a nice story. It's always going to happen because, of course, when you do something to get a rise out of the audience, but it makes them laugh, they will turn you. But it's the same kind of a deal. Nobody thought in 2020 Seth Rollins was going to come dressed like a cloud. One time he actually did. I suppose it also ties into the fact that he is Seth frickin' Rollins. And now the frickin' makes sense, even though it doesn't. Number 7, Cody Rhodes. So we are all used to it now, but let's not forget a few years ago, Cody Rhodes did ditch his bleached blonde hair, and he had dark hair again, because he was trying to resemble the bad version of Superman, and as he had said, nobody actually got it. The real change I want to discuss today, though, lies where he was when he did go through this transformation, because of course in 2020, Cody Rhodes was all elite. This is why it's amazing to talk about, because even then, Rhodes was saying, well, I can never go back to WWE, that door is closed, when it reopened in 2022, and he went on to become a super duper mega star. It really is quite the journey. He also became the heir apparent to Roman Reigns, and nowadays, he's the brand new John Cena. So if you are going to start talking about transformations, well, you're going to be hard pushed to find a better one. Just to make it a bit hoity-toity as well, I would say a part of this too is that Cody Rhodes is now happy, because yeah, during those last few days in AEW, well, I think something had clearly gone down. Number 6, Nikki Cross. I mean, the changes here are insane. Because do not forget that not that long ago, Nikki Cross was Nikki Ash, a wannabe superhero who kinda sucked. Now, the way she pitched this character was way better than the way Vince McMahon understood it, because when it was portrayed on TV, well, it didn't really click. Fast forward to today, though, she is part of the Wyatt Six. Look, she'll be on screen right now. She's all kinds of terrifying. And pretty sure I bumped into her in Resident Evil 7. She also plays this role to perfection, and before she got this, she was lost on the main roster, which is not cool. So this is one of those 180s that I will support until the cows come home. It's what we should be doing with everybody on the books. You gotta find their place. Also pretty sure before all this, her last match was November 2023, and even then she was just in a random battle royal. So basically Nikki has gone from happy person to proper serial killer. If somebody does that in the real life, you definitely go, well, that's quite the transformation. Number 5, Dexter Lumis. And it's exactly the same for Dexter Lumis. He has totally changed from a guy that had short hair and a moustache to having a full-on beard and dreadlocks. Where'd that come from? Amazingly though, his gimmick hasn't changed that much, because beforehand he was like a kidnapper that once did steal the Miz, and now he's like, what, a psychopath or some kind of like killer man? I don't really know, but you wouldn't want to bump into him in a dark night. He is now Mercy the Buzzard, and he has definitely got in super duper shape for this, although actually he was in super duper good shape before. But yeah, talk about embracing a new role. Quite inspiring to see. Number 4, Bo Dallas. I mean, you knew this one was coming given the last two, but if I had told you in 2020 that Bo Dallas was going to become Uncle Howdy, you'd be like, are you drunk and what are you talking about? It has been such a ride for Bo as well, because he was released in 2021, when eventually he was brought back to the WWE, and of course we were meant to do this partnership with his brother Bray Wyatt. Bray very tragically passed away. What it has done though is given birth to the Wyatt Six, where Bo Dallas has completely embraced this Uncle Howdy character. Have you seen some of those promos he has been doing? I mean, they are second to none. I would say the ultimate compliment is that he feels like a totally different person today, and let's not forget that match he had with Chad Gable on Raw. That was stellar stuff, so yeah, he's gone from being fired to being one of the main acts on Raw. That rules. Number 3, Rhea Ripley. I mean, this one is all about pictures. Look at it, it's wonderful. I mean, Rhea still looked awesome back in 2020, but then you hear the story from her mouth, and it all comes down to one thing: being herself. Because she has admitted for a while she tried to be what the world thought she should be. Well, I suppose she woke up one day and went flub it. Rhea Ripley is the person I would like to take on, when she just adopted all the mannerisms she had now. And yeah, she comes across like a great person. It's also been such a success because she is now one of the most popular people on the roster. And it's not like we did this in a couple of days. This has been building over the last few years. That's what makes it better still. It also culminated with the Judgment Day when she left to form that team with Damian Priest. And I tell you this, you think she's a big deal now, wait until 2025, she is figuratively going to explode. I really do think this is another reason why she has found so much success, because people stumble across her and say, well, that person is 100% authentic. That's what people like in 2024. You want to believe. Number 2, Gunther. I mean, in 2020, Gunther was Walter, and he looked like a tank. That is not the case today. It also ties into his aspirations. In 2020, he wasn't interested in WWE, was happy to be in NXT UK so he could be closer to home. When he had a change of thought, he totally transformed his body. And yeah, he got to Raw and he became Gunther. It also meant when he finally got there, he felt like a brand new person. It led to some fans going, oh, this is never going to work. But they were totally wrong, because this version of the man, well, I think it's the best. I mean, the amount of work that goes into something like this is next level, and the mindset too. So even though we're meant to boo him, think about this on a darker night. The man's got something special. Number 1, Dominic Mysterio. Because once again, if I had told you once Dominic Mysterio had debuted at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins, that in a few years he's gonna be a dirty, creepy, kind of sexual obsessed heel, you'd be like, no way, man. But he did go on to do this, and now he gets more boos than anyone. He's also grown a mullet and a moustache, and you can never fault that, but it's his mannerisms, man. He totally understands how to piss off an audience. That's why, really, he's only going to continue to improve. The dude is still so young. So it must have something to do with that Mysterio name. And while Ray would go on to become one of the biggest baby faces of all time, when it comes to the condom, well, he's probably going to do the exact opposite. It really is a masterclass, though, in how to embrace all of these traits. So if you are a young, up-and-coming wrestler and you want people to hate you too, just kind of look like Dom. Again, it's the things he says on top of all of this, but he also looks like a piece of trash. Don't get me wrong. I mean that as a huge compliment. The man gets wrestling better than some people that have been doing it for 30 years. That is damn impressive. Know of anybody else that's had crazy transformations since 2020? Let me know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And if you want more trivia from me, the Bald Idiot, there's a video on the screen right now. Otherwise, my friends, make sure you have a terrific day, and I'll see you back on YouTube very soon.